Hi, my name is Nicole Harrington. I'm a clinical psychologist with Berkshire CBT Services, and I've wanted to put together some information just about how to kind of manage emotionally during these severely stressful times of coronavirus. And what I'm going to talk about in this section is kind of some things you can do to help improve your mood or manage your mood. Lots of us are struggling with sadness and loss and frustration at this time. And those emotions are really normal. Lots of us are also vulnerable to depression, though, and we know that depression can really increase in times of severe stress. So part of what I want to talk to you about are some things you can do to sort of keep sadness in the domain of sadness and keep depression a little farther at bay. And this is a little bit tricky, truthfully, because one of the things we do when we're working with people with depression and we're trying to get people to challenge depression, often what we typically do is we say, look, we want you to be active, we want you getting out, we really don't want you to socially isolate, we want you to engage with community. And of course, right now, we're all being told to do the exact opposite. We're being told to stay home, don't go places, don't engage socially, social distancing. So this makes it really difficult and super important. And so what I want to talk about today are ways to continue challenging ourselves so that we can kind of stay in a better place in terms of our mood. And so the first thing I talked about in terms of working with depression, we really encourage people to avoid inactivity. And again, that's more difficult right now. Often what we usually say to people is, look, we want you to go out, go do errands. Can you go to the store? Can you go to the gym? Can you get together with friends? What can you do with your kids? We're not doing any of those things. So we still want to maintain our activity level. This is very, very important, and it's very difficult. So I know that what I'm suggesting isn't easy, and I know that it's not the same thing. I'm not naive. I know these aren't equivalent ways of being active. However, they're also really important ways of being active if we want to be able to kind of keep our mood in an okay place. So I really want you to think about things like, what can you do to move your body, to move yourself in the world more? Can you take walks? Can you go for a hike? You can take walks with people, 6 to 12 feet, right? Can you go for a drive? Can you do anything in your home that involves physical movement? Can you stream an exercise class or do some stretching? Can you take a walk around your yard and see if anything's coming up? Can you, if you're a gardener, can you get some flowers to start getting ready to plant? Anything that kind of keeps you a little bit more physical and a little bit more in the zone of moving. And then the second part of this is really avoiding social isolation and disengagement. And this is very, very tough, but also something we need to put a lot of attention into. So in a time where we're being told pull back and engage less, I actually want you to find ways to engage more. Now, true confessions, a month ago I might have looked at you and said, ugh, technology, it's interfering with all our social relationships, there's too much technology in the world. Now I'm incredibly grateful for it because this is how we're having our social relationships. And so pick up the phone, make a call. If you're able to, can you Skype? Can you FaceTime? Can you check in on a neighbor? Can you get together with an elder? How could you kind of reach out for your own social purpose in a way that actually helps someone else socially as well? When we start feeling a little more disengaged or a little more depressed, we start feeling like other people don't want to hear from us. And right now we know that the opposite is true. Lots of people are feeling bored or feeling lonely or feeling disconnected. So I really encourage you to think about who in your world can you reach out to more and how can you do that. I also want to encourage you to think about how do you connect with larger communities? How do you connect with arts if that's something you like? There are lots of museums that are giving virtual tours with feedback sessions. How do you connect with music if that's something that you find comfort and community with? There are lots of people doing streamed concerts and Metropolitan streaming the opera. So how do you find yourself still feeling connected to something bigger than yourself? Because the task of that is going to become more important in the days to come. And so the takeaway, and again, I'm not naive. I know that my suggestions aren't the same thing, that we are all struggling and sort of grieving with a lot of losses right now. The loss of going to work, the loss of our connections with our friends, the loss of sort of the world the way we knew it a month ago. And yet I think we have to sort of settle for what's real and take it on. I don't ever want to encourage someone not to sit with the emotions and sit with the sadness. I'm a therapist, right? I want you to sit with your feelings. And I want you to work hard to make sure your feelings stay in the area of sadness and loss and don't move into depression and despair. So again, I encourage you to stay connected to other people and to try to stay active. I hope you find this helpful. Again, my name is Nicole Harrington. Take good care of yourself.